Let's see. I mean, Fabian's got to be a professional streamer now, so that's how it's gonna work, Devin. We should all accept it, all right? This Coast Cafe Villa Consulate theme park is out. BDS banning it. I guess they realized they can't click that button, and then Border will be played again. Fair enough. Rogue are going for it. They had the decision between Club and Border, and they picked our second DLC map actually ever in the history of Siege.
That should not be a surprise at all to BDS, though, because Rogue have played Border 3 times already and done well on it, whereas BDS has not played it at all. So I would imagine BDS were prepared for this, knowing that, it's the last ban that they were likely to go Border. Either way, they would have been prepared for Clubhouse, I imagine, as well. So BDS probably anticipating this, but the fact that they have yet to have played it during Pro League makes me think they're going to try to counter-strat Rogue. But at the same time, you don't know how that's going to go, right? Scrims are one thing, live matches against the team are another. So BDS, though, LAN-wise, did much better than Rogue, so they have that. But I don't know, Rogue have definitely been doing better online, that's for sure, since the second half as well.
I don't think there's any way around it now. You can defend and play all you want, but it's very clear. You can't put up the numbers on LAN, at least for a while now, but at least now this is what matters. You need to play these games. You need to win them. Rogue are doing well. They're at the top with 19 points. You get a lot of extra cash if you do it right. So yeah, this is the play. So what does everybody think of this at home? Let us take a look at that. Bring it. Show me the money. 57-36. What do you think of that, Devin, after BDS performance?
I mean, the way it's been going the second half, I would give a little bit more to Rogue, but at the same time, we know BDS have the potential. They actually seem to have been better LAN team than online, which is the exact opposite of Rogue, so it's kind of funny to see that. But we also have seen Shaiko in a little bit of a slump post-invitational, so if Shaiko could really show up today, along with players like Lems, I think they definitely could have a strong performance, especially if Corey could take out some of his teammates, make it a little bit easier for them. But Border is going to be a tricky one, I imagine. I definitely favor Rogue in this matchup.
Yeah, definitely so. So we know our map, we know where to go. We're just waiting for our players to be ready, and then we'll head in ASAP. I'm just waiting for one more player actually to join in.
Yeah, just about there. Just one more member of Rogue. We'll be ready to go. So it'll be interesting to see Border 2 times in a row as well. We saw a lot of vents and console. We didn't see any customs. We saw bathroom tellers once.
But the question
I hope we see some variety here.
How different is Border going to be between the two matches that we had, right? Because with the way the Vitality plays it, they're not afraid to pull out the bathroom teller play. I don't know if either BDS or Rogue are going to do it, but I'm actually counting on Rogue playing some really mean operator bans.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm BDS too, I would also consider, banning something like Nomad, for example, because Shaiko on the roam can be pretty important as Jaeger. And if you lose that, you saw what Saves was able to do with that as well on that Jaeger roam. So it's kind of important, and they really need those frags to come from Shaiko on his Jaeger roams. So you definitely want to consider that as a ban option, I think, on this map especially. Or just ban Jaeger.
Yeah, which actually you maybe should. I mean, right now with Wamai and Jaeger both being big picks, I don't see teams still not banning either one of them. I mean, it might be worth it. Everybody's running the Jaeger nowadays and getting kills. There's always stuff like that happening. You always have to double in the combination of operator utility between the Wamai and the Jaeger. Just deal with it.
I think it'd be worth just running the Wamai and banning the Jaeger, because they depend on Shaiko a lot more than Rogue depends on a Jaeger player.
Correct. I think that makes a lot of sense, actually.
We'll see how things go here as we finally get into the map, and we'll get into the bans and find out if Rogue have anything like that up their sleeves. Starting with the ban phase, we could likely see a Thatcher, Thermite, Capitao, Nomad, things like that. I would think are the most likely candidates, but you never know.
So there's the cap. Yep, expected. And second operator, one hard breacher. It's BDS banning. Would they remove a thermite?
Again, I would go with the Nomad and just let the wall come down.
Viel Glück for Corey in chat. Good luck. There's one and it's a Nomad. That makes so much sense though. It's BDS. You ban a Nomad. That makes so much sense. Oh man, Rogue. Are Rogue gonna ban the Mira or are they gonna ban a Jaeger? Or BDS gonna go into the usual Mira?
Ban
Okay.
Jaeger. Ah.
Okay, so this is Rogue because BDS would never ban the Jaeger, right? It's up to Rogue to do something like that.
Yeah.
And Nomad, you can't. The Nomad being banned, Rogue has to rely on that operator to deal with BDS on border. I mean, the Jaeger, please. There's so many opportunities, even though you're starting on defense. No. Okay, I wanted you to make me happy, but Corey and Aces never want to make me happy. Fair enough.
Well, the Maestro is definitely going to be played here, and it's going to be useful. In addition, we might see quite a bit of that Goyo, just for those extra shields with the Wamai, things like that. Have kind of become pretty important. The current meta. There's the Maestro, and what we see in these 6 picks. A fair amount of grenades are going to be in play on BDS with the bucket and the sledge. Although we could see a 6 pick away from the sledge. Nope. And no 6 picking. All right, everyone just going straight into it for Armory Lockers. So, how long will the wall last with Thatcher play? Probably not very long. Especially with no real denial outside of a mute for it. Shouldn't be too hard here. They might even consider leaving part of it soft, as teams will do when they don't think they're going to be able to defend it, but looks like they're reinforcing at least half of it. So, and they are going to leave the other half soft. Okay, there we go. So we saw a similar idea being brought out last match, but they didn't shoot out the feet hole, and because of that, they were able to come up and use a soft, soft breach charge on the wall. The feet hold shot out is a nice way to adjust against that, because then, of course, if they start to walk up to put a soft breach on the wall, they get shot in the feet. At least there's a sledge and a buck that they could use to open up the wall safely. So I think those are likely going to be done. I don't think it's really going to make a big difference. They also have the Ash Breach charges if they wanted to use those. So it probably won't make a huge difference. That wall likely, at least the soft half, going to be open pretty quickly.
So Rip setting up his Evil Eyes. There's the Evil Cam off. Lem's wasting no time with the squad. You're bringing Renshi there. You have the Thatcher. You have the Habana. At least with the Habana, you just stay away, and you're not surprised seeing BDS bringing a Habana, right? Like, it's something that if you're banning an Ashe, Shaiko's gonna be playing the operator pretty much 100% of the time. So you can very much predict the ops that you're gonna be facing, and grenade is out. There's nobody there, and you have control of CCTV. You can drop in whenever you want. Rise is downstairs here in security and waiting. The attackers know it. I'm not sure if they have any drones to confirm it. Grenade's gonna sail away, and no, it won't hit. This is to hit Aces that have just fallen back off of his ankle.
At least they're able to take care of jail for the most part here, but they don't really have, I don't think, an intel on Rise, or at least not enough to be able to pressure him with grenades. So he's just going to sit pretty while they rotate upstairs instead. And he's going to be watching that hatch, hoping for a freebie. So this is really on them to pay attention, and they don't seem to be. They really don't seem that they know he's down here. C4 likely to come at some point. Renshiro taking Corey down in the meantime. Great initial kill, and there we go. There's the surprise from behind, but no finish with the small shotty. Ace is finishing off Ironics instead.
Oh no, there's one coming around from the bathroom. Does he know about it? There's the kill. Oh, Rafan and Shaiko will find one each, and Rogue will lose all of their advantage. 2 players down on the floor. You want to finish them with that evil eye, but you can't hit him. Hicks, if he wins this gunfight here downstairs, this can be huge. Smoke is out. Rips is going to connect, and they're going to force one player out of workshop, and Shaiko runs the other way. He wants the gunfight, and you give it to him. Hicks, shot in the head. Diffuser's gonna get dropped on the floors. Renshiro is gonna get picked up here at 20 HP. Rips is all alone, and he doesn't know that Ashe might be coming in from the side. Now he does. Now there's the info, and the drone will confirm. That's the Ashe droning for himself. That's Shaiko, and he's gonna peek around the corner. One flash, drone destroyed, and they're running wide. They go into Fountain. He knows what's up here. Rips, and the long angle being held by Renshiro. He is going to hold this forever, and there it is. BDS taking round number 1.
I mean, good defense overall in terms of spreading out well and being in good positions, catching a lot of the players off guard. The only problem was a lot of those downs couldn't be finished off. They were able to get one, but then couldn't get the other one. That gave too much man advantage to BDS. And then the fact that, well, of course, Shaiko wasn't killed. That usually is a big factor in how those rounds end up, especially with man advantage for BDS. Good attempt by Rips, though, at least to try and stay alive. He tried to play 2 different angles at once, but ultimately, with so many players coming to hunt him, he would have had to get pretty lucky. At least he was using a gun. He doesn't have to reload. So there is that, but yeah, not much you could do in that position. Corey just teasing as well. Well, they don't have to switch sites, but they will.
Yep. A Rogue just going to be this team that just rotates sites no matter what.
Like Vitality. Good that they brought the pulse here as well. Always helpful on this particular site, especially if you have someone holding site and you want to anticipate how many are pressuring up top so that you know whether or not to rotate. Definitely helpful.
I wonder what they put around Rise to support him on the site, because this has been seen so many times where you think you're safe on site, you're just using your heartbeat sensor, whatever you want, and then suddenly Shaiko swings wide and gets 2 kills. So if you're Rogue, you really have to extend your defense, and you can't just justify putting 3 players on the top floor without anyone being able to really support Rise or any player standing solo on site. Because somehow BDS is going to find an opening, and Shaiko is going to be that spearhead, as is tradition.
Yeah, I always like seeing the castle when you're playing vents. That was like the classic meta way to play it, but there's so many other operators that players need now. I can kind of understand, they want to try some different things. This is actually the first match as well that Valkyrie's not banned in today, so we will see some of those outside cams very likely. So repels on, say, sandwich window can be a little more dangerous if you don't take care of the cam over there, as they're not bringing IQ or anything to spot those. Can be difficult anyways. There's a lot of places to hide those cameras outside. Shaiko gonna try and make a quick entry and drone for himself as usual, and it does work out pretty well for him, so I don't blame him.
There it is. That's one Van Kelm destroyed. A drone will come in to give info, and this is what you do. You got Shaiko, you put 2 drones ahead of him, and normally this should be more than enough for him. Look at the long angle he's holding, and he's gonna fall back. The entirety of the wall here is reinforced, as Nitrocell will sail, and it will not, unfortunately, connect on to the sledge of Alems. There's the Ash walking in. Alems is going to walk off of the site, and Corey, he gets 2. 1 Alems, 1 Ironics, and they're both down. Rogue with a huge 2k here early in the round. Say early, but it's the halfway point as the pre-fire from the Ash comes in. You don't have any information, but the Valkyrie is still alive. You know that Corey can pressure you at any point. One might be playing in close to break room, as this is where you'll be required to control that diffuser. Renshiro, the long angle, the L85 is going to win against the MPX every day of the week, and unfortunate you don't have enough damage there to outdo the rifle.
At the end of the day, though, Corey trading for both the sledge and the buck was so worth it.
Yeah, 100%. Reloading, 100%, and he also does more than 50% damage there at Renshiro, so that's like 260 damage that he was able to put down on BDS. I wish there was a way. The MPX
of all guns as well.
Yeah, I wish there was a way to just count the amount of damage done by utility like smoke and also players, because an assist on its own doesn't mean much if you don't have the amount of damage that a player is doing. I would love to have that sort of statistic to use in the future. Those wishes and wish lists aside, it's time for an assault. 22 seconds left for BDS. The Habana is watching the lying angle, and there's still flashbangs being thrown at the site. You can't crawl through this. You need to use your gun, and okay, perfect timing. There you go. Shaiko will find 2 kills. Finally, he's gonna get shot down. 3 kills for Shaiko, and it's all on to Rise. No more utility left. There's 2 players. Oh no, there's the Pulse walking in. He does a lot of damage, but Rafal ducks down at the right moment. Rise at 60 HP. And he's walking down the hallway. Oh, how do you even find Renshiro in this position? There it is. Renshiro, perfect post-point position. All done.
They really need to deal with Shaiko somehow earlier. They need to do something to slow him down at the very least. I mean, maybe they do need goo mines at this point. I know Legion's not as good as it used to be, but maybe if that would just slow down Shaiko, make it a little bit more difficult. I mean, he could still potentially spot the goo mines on his drone, but at the same time, we got to do something to stop this man from getting in and getting his job done, because it's working pretty much every round, and he's just not being shut down very effectively. Corey set them up for success so well at the beginning of that round, but because of Shaiko getting a nice 2K or even that back up, plus one extra because of Corey being dead, really worked out in their advantage again. So far, Rogue just seeming like the ends of the rounds, they can't hold it together, ending up with just one player left to try and clutch each time. Because somehow just players like Shaiko are just able to find the last few remaining players and shut down most of them. And, not really having to worry so much about the plant as really just focusing on picking off the last few defenders.
Yep. I mean, you got your post point position. This is something that BDS are so strong with. You have yourself players like Alems, Renshiro, and Rafal, and they're going to know where to be at the end of a round. All they need is a tiny bit of information, and they're going to capitalize on it. BDS is a return of a lot of this, French firepower that has been playing since day one in Pro League, even coming from different platforms. So this is BDS that know what to do, really, and Rogue are being outplayed. Right now, it's Aces that'll take up the Valkyrie, an operator he should be very familiar with, doing work. And even with the 2 kills and the half a kill pretty much from Corey in the last round, it was still not enough for Rogue to cement their lead. Shaiko just comes in and slaps 3 players out of the server.
Well, let's see if they could pull off, what they need to this round on attack, because now the second chance for the Armory Lockers defense. So they have some idea how BDS are likely to attack it, and they can do what they can try and defend against it. But at the same time, they're not bringing a ton of utility drain. We're not seeing Wamais and Goyo shields and things like that. It's just more standard operators being played here. Because of that, I mean, they're not really going to have BDS spending a lot of time distracted. And then, of course, Shaiko wins his fight. At least Aces, in the meantime, taking down Rashiro will help. But, man, that is not much. Taking down the Thatcher, not as huge a deal here. Because, again, they're not really doing much active denial. So the EMPs were really just more clearing other utility.
Yeah, I mean, you lost a Mozzie, you lost a Nitro Cell, you can't control any drones if you even had any in control. In general, no bueno. No matter how you crunch it, Shaiko's still in, he still has all his utility, and he's planning to fight against half wall. You see the Maestro that is ready there, and the Rips is gonna, have something to really make his day a bit worse in, just a few seconds here when the Ash decides to push him and clear him out, just waiting on the information. And BDS are waiting for Rogue to make a mistake. They're looking to pounce on it. Oh, so close there to finding Aces, I believe, there on the Valkyrie. Walking back onto site. And Buck will stay alive for a bit more. There you go. Very well done. BDS are just holding angles.
There we go. Shaiko finding another one here on the Hicks. That is an important kill. So now they've killed a C4 player on Rise and then also the smoke, but at least Aces trades it back. Shaiko's dead now, so this is a lot more possible. And I'm not saying Shaiko's like the only reason they ever win, but he's such a pain to deal with that if you take him out, you can really start to focus after that, especially with Rafal at such low health.
No question. So Habana's so low, how do you deal with the shield? There's ADSs that should be around the corner here. Do you have anything to destroy the shield? Any grenades? Flashbangs will force the Maestro out. And there's one thing caught by an ADS. Yeah, I believe that was Ironix's grenade. Unfortunately, that shield is going to stay up for end of the round. Ironix on the rotate. He still has 5 more shotgun shells to use with the C8. The Skeleton Key is definitely a possibility, but he needs to pull Rips back. They don't know if he's actually playing by half wall or not. And there it is.
They got the sandwich rappel.
Sandwich rappel, so important. Going for the plant. Just hold it. Deal with the Maestro. Go for it. Aces with the Nitro and all the potato all around the shield. It's all done. Aces will lock down the last 3 kills for another ace. Man, I am loving the Shaiko versus Aces game.
It really is turning into that. Ace is definitely living up to his namesake. I mean, it's still weird having 2 Aces in Pro League now that Australian Aces is back, but still, it's both of these players. You need to kill them both. If you want this to be a fair fight, we need to see Shaiko and Aces just go out in 1v1 at the beginning of the round so that the rest of the players can play a fair match of 4v4. Because it really does seem to rely very heavily on those two, especially stats-wise. So, again, you kill Shaiko, you win the round. You kill Aces, probably win the round as well. So, again, though, I got to question the repel into sandwich. We saw it again. The Buck was doing it that time. It just does not work very well. I mean, yeah, he was, I guess, in a way avoiding a C4 that was flying his way that he probably hit mid-swing as well. Might have even taken 5 damage from that, but still, it's just, I don't know. The repel just doesn't work for me. But at least Rogue finally picked up a round, so that's good. They're going to change up a little bit. Corey playing a slightly different operator this time. It's funny that they'll finally bring a mute for vents, but not for upstairs armory wall.
So,
well, I see. Take my advice. Aces is bringing the Legion to finally try to slow down Shaiko now, or at least give him some intel when Shaiko's creeping up on him.
I mean, it's not the same though, right? At least before the Legion, you could do way more. But I mean, who would have thought that we would actually be saying this? But this Legion nerf is definitely something that'll benefit Shaiko.
I almost wonder if you could get away with a cap can. But at the same time, he does drone for himself, so he's very likely to see those, unfortunately. But a cap can would be pretty funny, or even a frost mats to try and catch him off guard.
Something at this point. I wish there was like just a net that you can hunt him with or whatever, but Scory down. Oh. There's the alibi. I mean, was he trying? No. Don't tell me he was trying to bait his opponent into thinking that he was the default alibi. Can we go back? Can we go back to that Prisma that's set up on the armory wall, Marcia? I don't know if we can do that. There's the armory wall, and there's a hole in it with an alibi set in it. This is so weird. Rise will find a Lems. There's utility. There's a nitro cell, and there's Shaiko with another kill. He's prepared for another one. It's like he's checking every single angle. Takes and Corey down. Still checking into Fountain. Now you try to clear and push in from... Oh, there's the alibi. There you go. You can click heads. That's not the one. One more tick.
Hard to be marked, at least.
Pre-firing around the corner. Where's your Legion now? Shaiko gets one. And he will come around the corner. He knows this one in sandwich, but he's going to finally get shot from Rise. The 2K for him, but Aces, Corey, and Hicks are down. Rips and Rise are the last two. Live for the squad. And there's, again, those alibis. Those Prismas are doing work and slowing things down. Rise from behind. There it is. He's going to be able to fall back down into the armory and pre-firing all around as he drops off, and we'll be fighting down on the site.
It's actually working out pretty well now that they're able to get a little bit of mobility. But you see what happens now that Aces and Shaiko are dead. It's actually a fair fight, and it's a much longer round here. But at least Rise is still alive, who is the other top fragger for Rogue, and doing pretty well this round. I think he had a triple so far. It's down to Renshiro and Rafael to try and clutch this. They're both support ops right now. Just trying to see if they could get set up for a plant. But they're going to be playing for objective right now. They're really going to be focused on set up some drones. Let's get into position, have our teammates watch the drones, and try and get this plant down. Now, Rogue should know that. If they do, they should be just prepared to push back on site, which they're doing, but Renshiro takes down Rips, and it's all down to the pulse to identify where he's going to be pushed from.
Renshiro is a literal turret. Nitro cell comes out from Rise, and he's going to go and pre-fire. He finds one nitro cell, unfortunately doesn't connect. He's going to need to ace now. Renshiro's the last alive. Rise, does he have all the angles that are needed? Go in and drone. EMP is going to get thrown out. This is the time to nitro. EMP has not hit. How do you deal with this? How do you run away from a pulse? Guma is going to be set, and no! Rise is looking the wrong way! Tunnel vision activated. Renshiro runs up for a kill. All they needed was the info. Oh my.
Funny thing is he should have anticipated that. The way he saw the heartbeat. Oh yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I noticed he froze for a second. That's what happened, is he accidentally hit his chat key.
Oh, that
and
happens.
Lost the round over that. At least he was ready to type open by chat. Oh man, that is unfortunate, because I think you should have anticipated a push up on that side from you, because you could see the heartbeat rather was kind of heading towards metal. But yeah, it happens. Now BDS though, definitely looking at a huge advantage here. They're gonna try bathroom tellers. They could, try vents again, but it hasn't really been working out so great, so I understand. Now we're finally gonna get that castle. Again, we need to see Shaiko and Aces die early so we can see a fair fight.
So what's
see
the play?
bathroom tellers again. I mean, the play is to just not die, you know, like early, like we saw from the Maestro last time bathroom tellers was defended earlier. But the castle barricades will definitely help with things, but again, they're not bringing a lot of utility drain. You bring a castle, it really helps if you bring a ton of shields and other stuff that force them to drain other utility, so that they might even lack utility to take out the castles. At least they are bringing, the only thing they have to really counter the castle is the Ash and the Havana, because the Buck can't really do much, other than grenades, I guess, against castle barricades, and there's no sledge in play. So, again, I would like to see more utility drain come out from Rogue.
Yeah, it's been the metagame. I don't know. So BDS also have not. I mean, BDS, instead of bringing the Zofia, they're relying on a Thatcher. We haven't seen much Thatcher today, but BDS are definitely bringing him very consistently in these rounds. I think like this is the third round that they bring him so far out of the four. The fourth round out of the five. I'm not sure exactly, but it's been a very common pick for them, to say the least. There we go. Say it again. It happens. Renshiro.
If you have a player who's consistent at fragging on Thatcher, like Renchiro's pretty decent on Thatcher, you also get you can clear out a fair bit of utility, but you also get the Claymore as well. So it's definitely worth bringing if it helps speed up your game in terms of pushing around.
So there's one angle being opened up as Hicks is going to find Shaiko. All right. Fair enough. That usually means it's going to be a bit of an easier round, especially as the first pick. All the holes have been opened up by the defense. Give them perfect line of sight. Aces will connect. Rafael is down. A good position there for the Valkyrie. And now you set up all your bandit batteries again. Renshiro can easily destroy those batteries, and there are the EMP sails. So, very well done.
Now with Shaiko and Rafael dead, though, I think this is going Rogue's way. They haven't even taken any damage yet. They're still holed up in both parts of the site that they need to be. BDS are really going to have to get lucky to make this work here. They at least have some utility, I believe, if Ironics has grenades left.
That doesn't help. He's already dead. Hicks is going to find the headshot. Alems will trade off with the G8 onto Rise, but he's taking so much damage. There's the Jaeger here. Rips sitting inside of the office waiting for the AQ to peek into him. And the L85 is looking the other way, so they push in. Oh, they're doubling up. Close to the team kill. Aces will get one. He's down on the floor. Is this the perfect angle? Corey with a TK, as is tradition. But Rips will find the kill on Alems. Fair enough. Corey at it again.
Corey has a quota to meet.
1 TK per game or gets kicked out.
Yeah. He was punishing Aces for failing that play. Well, definitely a much better round. Again, killing Shaiko early makes a huge difference. It doesn't guarantee a win, but it certainly makes it a lot easier, especially when you follow it up with a second kill and a Rafal. That got a little closer than it should have been, but at the end of the day, if Aces is still left alive and Shaiko isn't, you're definitely going much, much more heavier on the Rogue side. See how it goes, though, for another armory tech. Again, we're not seeing anything but mostly tellers and, not tellers, vents and armory lockers with the occasional tellers. I would like to see customs when we switch sides, maybe.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
Just cause.
Used by attackers.
Just cause.
We'll see Corey on Doc of all things. He's trying to kind of flex. He's been playing a few different roles. You had him, for example, on Alibi. He's now going to be on Doc. Rise is bringing the Legion instead of Aces, though, so Aces could be on that Jaeger. So they are changing things up ever so slightly on the defense. Try and make it work a little bit better. Still not doing anything to actually deny the wall from just being opened, though. And again, they're not really needing Renshiro on that Thatcher, but still getting, I think, some value out of it. It will be helpful in potentially making it a little easier to take care of those evil eyes, though, or at the very least disable them. May also help clear some ADSs and goo mines, tangentially.
So last round of this half. A lot of pressure on Rogue. And BDS, they lost Shaiko's the first player down in the previous round, and that did not help at all. So yeah. How do you try to conserve that? That's the question. Always put a drone in front of him. 2 drones even in front of him. This usual strategy has been seeing for BDS. Joining the hallway, seeing how the setup is so far for the defense. Double reinforcement inside a fountain. Nothing out of the ordinary. This makes a lot of sense, especially when you know that Shaiko is going to be putting pressure on you from the hallway. It's something that he always does. He's always moving. He's always doing something. And that's very scary for any team. You have Renshiro as a turret that just sits there and fires at people that peek into him, and Shaiko is the one that walks into people and guns them down. It's a combination that works. Everybody else just gives them information. It's the BDS strat. So, yeah, like, without either one of these two players, it wouldn't work, that's for sure.
Maybe they need to consider running Mute Mozzie Vigil in the future just to make Shaiko's job harder in that respect as well.
Oh, so close.
Missed shot.
So close. Unfortunate there, but it's a bit of a tight angle to try and hit. Maestro's going to be able to run away, and everything being cleaned out here by an ADS. Did he hit the evil eye in the back? There it is. So all there.
No, there we go.
Okay. That's okay.
That's a huge waste. Took 3 bits of utility to clear that.
So you're trying to deal with anybody inside of the office. There's pre-fire. Bit of damage done to Rise, but not enough to really count. And there's the confirmation. They know there's a player inside of the site. He's already crossed over, and he's in sandwiches. Aces. Heading a Lems. Taking out Zofia. At least that Zofia had no utility left. And the Ash from below will be pressuring. Something we talked about before. It's the standard strategy. There's the Maestro, and he's going to take damage. Is he? Yes, a lot onto Ribs. He's going to be forced back. Rogue have taken a lot of damage in this, and at least they've all fallen close to A. One player sitting on sandwich window is going to be huge for BDS, but Aces will get one. Rips with another. They're watching every angle. All is open. The Ash, Shaiko from behind, and Renshiro, the turret, and the machine. The MP will be thrown out. Shaiko down to half HP. He hits a headshot on the Rips. It's a 2v4. Coming around the flank into the office, trying to find opponent there. Renshiro will get one as Aces will clear him out. A 3k for Aces. One more left in Shaiko. He's got 3 players to go through. And Corey's already docked up his teammates. Bringing up to close to full HP. Goo mines are thrown in the face of Shaiko here at 7 seconds left. He's got to walk through barbed wire and held him back to bring this one in. One playing on the floor. Shaiko hits on Corey. But what was that? It was an impact nade. Rise will catch them all. And Shaiko. Let's go. Yeah, there you go. Boom.
There we go. He was just looking this whole time just to collect him, make his Pokedex complete.
That's a good CP Pokemon. I mean, looking at how Shaiko is playing so far, he's basically the Mewtwo of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going for the swaps.
Oh,
well, we'll see Vents to start with, oddly enough, for BDS to start on defense. You don't see a lot of Vent defenses like you used to. We will see a Mozzie Mute Vigil from BDS. So something I was saying Rogue should be running, well, they'll definitely be running it. That'll make Corey's job a little harder if he's trying to play Shaiko style and drone in for himself. So we'll have to potentially clear that out. At least they have the Thatcher as well. So that will help at least a little bit in terms of clearing out some of the utility. Again, though, for those of you who aren't aware, with the point system off in Pro League, not only do they not know when they down people necessarily, they also don't know what utility that they clear with Thatcher. And that can be really problematic because you want to know, oh, I've cleared this, this, and this. Obviously, you can try and verify with drones and things like that, but it is a big advantage that you lose out on by not having points displayed, just because you don't know how effective you're being on Thatcher. You don't know what utility you freed up. Like, oh, hey, I cleared 2 pests. Okay, well, now you know there's only 1 pest left to deal with, or 2 ADSs, or, things like that. I think it makes a difference. But at the end of the day, good Thatcher players, they have to go off with good communication and instinct on that.
So
that's where IQ comes in.
I'm very curious about this Vigil play. You mentioned the IQ, at the moment, she's obviously not here, but having that Vigil, you can obviously spot him when the ERC is on with the IQ, so it gives you some effectiveness at knowing where he is, going to be playing inside CCTV. Not sure if there's anybody going to be supporting Ironics in this one. Of course, people that don't know, Ironics is RXWD. Oh, that's a god drone there. Now we realize why the Mute Mozzie combo is so prevalent nowadays.
It's very strong. I mean, they really need to drone this out. It's not even a big map. And there's plenty of choke points, so very effective on this map in general. Long angle being held without an ACOG, too.
There's Hyronix. There it is. He's going to get one ERC out, and Corey's down. So no entry here for Rogue. They're trying to set their drone downstairs, setting up for that half-wall explosion or something. If they know who's inside of Armory, they should know there's at least one player. There's two, actually. One of them in that half-wall. Habana's going to open up the hatch to enter through CCTV. So Rogue will have some angle to come in from the side of the site. But BDS was still spread very well around all of this. 3 players downstairs, one of them in bathroom, and Ironix is actually rotating between everything. So you might see him now pushing into that open area and later on coming into pressure through the center of the hallway into aces.
They've definitely made them fight for a lot for this map control. It's interesting to see that the Rogue went for downstairs push more so than upstairs, because of after all the time they spent clearing the upstairs, they're not even going to dedicate a lot of people to that downward pressure on it. They're more focusing now on pressuring the site, seeing if they can get any picks by players playing too loose near the entrances. And so far, everyone just kind of barely missing each other to some extent. BDS, they're completely untouched as a team. Oh, finally touched.
Renshire taking a lot of damage. Grenade thrown in, but it's the Habana of Rise that'll come forward. Alems gets one. Aces on the refrag, but he's taking a lot of damage in the meantime. Oh no, the angle. Shaiko, perfect for him. The grenade isn't going to hit. Another one will sail away, and it's nowhere near. Hex is going to get takedown Shaiko in the meantime. It turns to a 2v2, but the long angle from Ironix. It's the 2K for the Vigil. And it's now all on the ribs. No drones left for him, at least. I'm not sure if his teammates have any rotation drones that have been preset. 30 seconds left, and there's only 2 angles for you to come from. One of them is being held, and there's the headshot. Alems, the late round rotation, and even staying on that top floor the whole round. That's the big problem. If you're Rogue and you're not taking control of that top floor, you're going to get shot down. It's only an eventuality.
I mean, a big part of that was just BDS holding the top as long as they did. Rogue eventually just kind of gave up on it, especially after losing Corey. They just didn't seem to have the wherewithal to actually make a push on it. They also just didn't seem to have good droning on it because of the Vigil, for example, and then the Mozzie combo, just really making it very difficult for them to identify where anyone's at to get enough intel to know where to push. So instead they just go, we'll just push the bottom floor because we know there's going to be people in sight, and we know we can kind of take control of customs from, and start to push from jail. But we're actually finally going to go to customs, so thankfully BDS heard me and granted my wish. Corey getting a 6th pick as well to a slightly different 3-speed. That should bring a little bit more intel. This time we can at least spot the pests before he drives his drone straight into them, in theory. Although obviously the drone itself doesn't have the gadget scanner. We'll see Castle for this defense as well, along with the Kaed, so they're actually bringing something to deny the wall, potentially. Just a question of which walls they want to use it on. Could possibly also use it on the hatch. So usually, when you defend customs, you very often defend it with the hatch open so you can rotate down potentially. In this case, they're going to seal it up, and I would hope also put an electrical on it to make it very difficult. They also have that other hatch that Renshire just reinforced in the corner. They could also electrical if they want. So they can try and make it very difficult for the attackers to actually rotate into sight from above. Instead, then they'll probably have to focus on jail and passport.
So for people that haven't watched today, this is your spoiler alert. And it's done. Chaos, Force, and Navi have won today. 7-5, 7-3, 7-3. These are 3 of the low 4 teams in EU, BDS is that 4th team. So should BDS take this, the prophecy will be true. All 4 of the bottom 4 teams in the EU would have gained a victory today against the top 4, and it would give them 3 extra points to make things in EU way closer than it
Yeah, but then all
is.
4 of those would still be tied, though.
Exactly. So they all just move up 1 rank, and it'll be such a massive tie all the way around. This is definitely going to be a very exciting setup to our next Pro League Playday here in EU. But there's the mute. He's going to spot the drone of Rise coming in from the passport check. And Renshiro still sticking to that top floor. Ironix has 1 player to support him as well, and that's Rafal. They know there's 1 player inside of the bathroom. A good headshot from Rafal. Very well done to now create the rotation back onto site, but he's going to get taken down. Aces and Corey will get a kill each. And suddenly it's a role reversal. Rogue are at the home.
Well, doing a good job with it here in terms of actually getting control of the map now. This is what they needed to be able to start to pressure from multiple sides, but they've got to worry about the top floor. This is where a lot of BDS members are still left to roam and can continue to put pressure down because they focus so much on taking control of the workshop area from below. Now they've got to worry about players up here, and you see players like Corey just watching for those rotates down. That's maybe a smart way to play this. Let Rogue continue to pressure the downstairs, and then just cut off the rotations from above, bait them into you at this point, and just hold angles. As long as you don't get shot from those holes above as well, that could be a problem.
Rise going for the plant. Is there a way to deal with them? It's a bit too slow. The fuser's going to be set. Oh no, Alems was looking the wrong way, and the attackers have already fallen back. You have to watch for it. It's being shot from the side, and Rise will find the kill. Unfortunate that these holes were not preset by BDS, but Renshiro will be able to find one. He's the last alive. He's going to dive out, looking the wrong way by the tank, and checking to sight. He's spotted. And unfortunately, that blonde hair is going to make him even more visible as we're tied again. Wow, this is really back and forth.
Yeah, this has definitely been a good close match between these two here, and most importantly for the rivalry, you did have Aces actually killing Shaiko that round, so nice back and forth between those two continues. We need almost just independent stats on those two killing each other as well. Although I think more often than not, it's been Aces killing Shaiko, but rather than the other way around, but it's hard to say. Either way, it is nice and tied up because of that, because there's, you know, both of them occasionally getting shut down. Customs unfortunately didn't work out though, so probably won't see it again. But you know, never know. That might be BDS's, you know, tertiary site, and rather than bathroom tellers, and they end up there again just because they win armory and then vents.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
I imagine we'll go to vents next after this, regardless, because that's probably their primary. But they're not going to go with the Mute Mozzie Vigil combo again, which unfortunate. But they will bring the Goyo to try and burn up a little bit of utility and have some nice shields to work with, as well as the smoke, which will help with that.
Look at these Goyo shields. I like this from Alems. He's already deployed one in the middle of the hallway. Remember, this was a strat like a year ago where there would be an echo that puts a shield in the center of the hallway, and he has a rotation hole behind him into CCTV. It's an old strategy, and it worked for a while, and then people just kind of went away with it because, you know, you didn't have Goyo, you didn't have the extra shields or ways to burn ADSs, so, or to just, you know, hold on to your locations without losing important shields. I like this actually.
Stop worrying about grenades.
It is surprising that they're actually not bringing an extra shield on smoke too. You usually see that happen. Corey, very nice start. Might have even just been lucky. Pre-fire through the door, it happens. That's Ironic's going down, which means he might have not even finished up setting up all his pests yet. Makes the drones a little safer.
Man, I don't know why.
Corey can spot him as well.
I don't know why BDS traded RX out for Ironics. I mean, obviously RX was a way better player.
Oh, definitely.
That's a very obvious joke for people that don't know, huh? Sometimes just things fly over people's head, though that flew directly into Alem's head. Corey, what a headshot.
Oh, wow. That's 2 kills for Corey. He has to kill a teammate now.
Oh,
nope, never mind.
There's Shaiko. Is that the rule now? Corey gets 2 kills and then it goes for a team kill? Fair enough. At least Corey's been shot down. There's the Valk cam that's been destroyed by the Buck. And you got the Habana X Kairos opening up the breach here in the hallways from break room. This strategy that actually Empire employed on Border right before we went to Invitational. I think they played this like a couple times in the first half, and they were so effective at doing the same exact thing every single round, and I just loved it. But Empire brought the Zofia every time they brought the Habana, and then they also had the Buck doing work from below. I don't know if that's the case here right now because I don't know where Hicks is, but that's a great kill from Aces on the Shaiko. No more Jaeger for you in the round. Leaving it all onto Rafael and Ranchero. A ton of gunfights there. Sitting in the centers, the Goyo shield is being popped. Aces will take a lot of damage, will be forced back for just a bit. It's buying you time as BDS. But right now, Rogue has all the time in the world. Oh! Again, Aces! What a headshot. Now on to Rafael. How do you deal with him? You don't actually need to do anything against him. You just go and plant. Rise. Extra smokes will be thrown in. The Goyo shield pop. And Rise will be safe from the plant. He'll take a bit more damage. They know where he's at. Sitting in the sandwich window. Smoke. At one point, do you die? Oh, no. Rafael is going to find one kill. He still has 3 more to go. And at least Rogue are splitting up, going for the reload. Hicks is watching in the back, and it's all done. Rogue will take the advantage.
About time Rogue's starting to get a little bit of advantage here. I mean, they had they were just playing catch up a majority of the time. So this is the first time they've actually had a lead in points. And some of those due to Aces just doing his thing, and again killing Shaiko, and also Corey with the 2K though. That was a big deal for him. Aces really didn't need to push through the fire though, trying to go for that last kill, just trying to get pad his stats a little bit. I don't think he needs the stat padding at this point. He's doing quite well, so probably could just play back a little bit more, but it did continue to put pressure on the player, I suppose. He's going to go for the same operator again. This time they're going to be attacking vents, as I figured they're going to go back there. And there's the Mute Mozzie Vigil combo again, something that was effective before, as they won vents the very first time they played it. So, of course, they're going to want to go back there. As well, it's the only bomb site they've been able to win so far. And partially, again, due to this Mute Mozzie Vigil combo that we've seen effectively from teams like SSG, for example.
Bomb located by attackers.
Nice thing for Rogue, though, is they have the combination of the IQ and the Thatcher that will allow them to spot a lot of the gadgetry and clear it out if they don't need the Thatcher for anything else. It'll be very useful. It can even, I believe, disable the cloak on Vigil if it's in range. Not a huge deal, but fun.
I want to see the same setup here. Oh, okay, so there's a rotation hold from BDS. They're not bringing the Goyo in this one. They're bringing any shields. No shields. So BDS are going to run with 3 nitro cells. They're going to run with Ironics as well. So they might be letting go. They're reinforcing a lot of CCTV because they will let go of Armory way earlier than you think, so that they can nitro their opponents from below. This seems to be the play, and it's all about lulling Rogue into a false sense of comfort. Okay. Well, there it is. Aces with 1, but the refrag from Shaiko. He knows there's one more sitting in the same spot here by the servers. Aces lost. This is a man that did so much work so far for Rogue, and now you've lost half of your drones pretty much. Corey has 1 in his back pocket, so does Rips and Rise, but there's only 2 that have been deployed so far. And Aces has collected 18 kills in this game. I mean, again, this Aces versus Shaiko game is very exciting.
I mean, that was a great way to just enter in and get things going, right? It's too bad for him it wasn't on Shaiko, but still, taking out a C4 is always a good start. It would have been even better, of course, if he was able to pick off a second one, or if he had a teammate there to trade some of those out, but either way, at least soften the blow a little bit. But this is where Corey needs to do some good work again against the Lems. Has some tough corners to watch, and fortunately gets a little caught out on that peak.
Yeah,
there goes the Lems.
He's looking for more. At least trying to use the G8 as best as he can. He's expecting this walk up from BDS. He's looking for another kill on the rotation in the bathroom. Grenade will be thrown in. This is to cut off more rotations. Limited on drones, but still you know that you cornered your opponents into one tiny room on the workshop. But Shaiko's been able to escape in the meantime, and there's the kill. Diffuser's down. It's a minute 5 left, so a lot of time here for Rogue, but recovering that diffuser when it's out in the open, it's going to be a tough job.
Yeah, definitely going to be well guarded and baited into. Corey possibly able to do it, but now they've lost Hicks as well. Certainly not going to help. Important thing is Shaiko's still alive here, and Renshiro as well.
Oh, Rips! The great shot onto Renshiro, but the diffuser is so far back. This is the most important part of the game, remember. You can play for time if you're a defender. That works against you as an attacker. In the 2v1, Shaiko definitely has the opportunity to win. I'm not sure if there's any way to recover that diffuser without being spotted and taken down. There's the angle. It's being prepped, the peak, and the gunfight 1. Shaiko with a 3K. Rips us down, but the IQ! Corey brings the corner, and Mr. Lucas Vigman is gonna do it. There's the G8. He knows it. He knows it. Oh, the tap in the head. Rogue guarantee themselves at least 1 point at the end of the day.
Well, after that, I'm definitely expecting a TK from Corey.
Basically. Actually, that makes a
he owes
very
us.
good point.
But it'll be like the one that we saw last match, right? Where it's purposeful TK to bait them. See, bathroom tellers after all, so they are actually going to play all 4 bomb sites. It's good for BDS, and they're finally going to bring the Wamai, something we hadn't actually seen in this match, I don't think. So finally, some utility drain as well. See how it gets used. They're not really going to have like a lot of shields or anything to protect, though. This is the big problem. It still helps to have the extra discs on top of, Shaiko doing his thing on Jaeger. But they're bringing just a ton of barbed wire and C4. With no shields available, it's like you're not really protecting as much. Unfortunately, yes, shields aren't the only use for Wamai discs. There's certainly a great one along with castle barricades. See if all this wire slows them down.
There are a lot of reasons to bring the castle on this one, and honestly, this is a site that I think castle is very important on. I know that there's recharges and the grenades and all of that, but it's still all about, soaking that attacker utility, right? And with how castle works nowadays, by just giving you so much flexibility and opening rotations and such, you can very much make a good case for them for the site defense.
Well, Shaiko already at half health. At least a good start for Rogue. Just need to finish the job. Maybe that's what Aces were working on here. Just need to identify where he's at. Nice drone position here. Actually going to identify exactly where Shaiko's at. Can they execute on that information, though? That's the real question, because they're a bit far from where he's at, so they just need to make sure they can control his rotates.
With all the other...
entry point.
Honestly, with all the other teams today that haven't done too well, this is the perfect time for Rogue to even get 3 points ahead. Hicks will find one onto Rafal. That's the entry that they need. The one player on site is down. Renshier, though, will find Rise, and they're stunning one inside of the office. Ironix, in the meantime, is downed. This is the moment to walk into site. Grenades are out, or EMP is out trying to clear that Maestro Evil Eye. But Shaiko from above will find Hicks. You can't plant out of the bathroom, and you can't stay in it forever. Unfortunately, Rogue are a bit too slow to capitalize. Ironix is still downed. There's no finisher, and it's turning into a 3v3 if Ironix is not picked up, so the pulse can't be played. And now this is tough. You have limited utility as Sofia. You cannot stun the players on the site, and having both the Jaeger and the Wamai on the office is going to be super tough. Shaiko with one more on to Corey. Now Serpent Aces, last 2 win. Aces with a headshot on a Shaiko. And there it is, the 2v2. The question is, what's the reaction? If you clear the top floor, it's all over, you win the round. If you go down a plant, then without a specific window of time, you're definitely going to be losing this, because the 2 defenders are now sitting and just watching that diffuser that mistakenly was dropped on site.
Oh, they're going to use it as bait at this point. At this point, Aces is just waiting for the opportunity to come up. Rips is just going to be distracting, making sure that they think he's going for the defuse. And he knows they're going to be focused downwards. They did manage to kill Shaiko as well. That's the important thing. Ace is continuing to dominate him.
Oh, so close to have info on one. Do they know where the other one is? Ran around the corner, the shot from Aces, the 2K. They know what last is, but it's a Wamai to win the gunfight. Alems now versus Rips, and Rips is going to find it. Rogue victorious. And there it is, prevented.
They broke the underdog streak for today, unfortunately for BDS. Either way, though, that was a good comeback from Rogue. Overall, the defense from BDS, while it looked good, just could not handle Aces especially. He was really doing fantastic on attack, even more so than his defense. Look at that, 20. Him and Shaiko, definitely, though, I gotta say, Aces beat Shaiko that match. So he was able to dominate him a lot more often, and Renshiro, though, put up a good fight as well with 10, but man, it was really the Aces Shaiko show.
Definitely so, and in the end, Corey really stepped up. That last kill from Rips was definitely very important. We saw in the statistics that he might not always be putting the numbers on the board, big numbers that is, but he's getting the kills where they really matter. And in that case, that's exactly what mattered. The teamwork, the calm from Rogue in that situation, definitely something to be commended. So kudos. It takes a lot of nerve and nerves of steel to do this sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely a tough fight here, and BDS just gonna unfortunately stay kind of more in the bottom 4 here. because of that. They weren't even able to get the 1 point out of it from the tie, but luckily for them, even if they really continue to struggle from here, there's no relegation, so they will have time to sort things out. But it does seem like they're having a little trouble lately. While Shaiko had a much, much better day today than he did last play day, it still looks like the team overall is just kind of struggling a little bit. But it was good to see Rogue continuing to do well. But I think maybe just border is not the choice. Rogue have continued to do well on border. Probably not a good idea to take them there.
Yeah, theme park wasn't the choice. Against Na'Vi, Villa wasn't the choice. Today, border wasn't the choice. I wonder what BDS will use next time as they're playing against Empire. Maybe this is the time to bring out your coastline. Then again, how effective will that be? I mean, both teams haven't had the most amazing track records on this, and somehow BDS online just are not working well. It's actually very crazy to compare them to the team that was at Invitational. And personally, having sat there, and this is for people that are asking the questions on the subreddit, RX or Ironics now was being very, very, very active at Invitational in a very negative way. You could hear it very clearly, and Alems was able to always control the team. I'm not sure what was happening here, but maybe this is a problem, something that's actually happening in combo with the team.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it was better with Panics on the team in terms of chemistry and dynamic, and just Ironic's not working out. But maybe maybe the name change will be a personality change that will help with that. Either way, they're doing a little bit better today, at least. I mean, that was a better game than their last one, I think. But especially against Rogue. But Rogue, they're one of the top 4 teams for a reason right now. They're very, very strong online, and it continues that way.
All right, Devin, I'll be back to you in just a couple of minutes here. Let's have a quick chat with our good friend Corey.
Hello.
Guten Abend, Corey. Wie geht's dir? How are you, man? TK Corey.
I'm pretty good. We had quite a funny game, to say the least. We enjoyed the game a lot on our side, and I'm doing really good.
So today it definitely showed that Rogue was comboing very well. However, it seemed like with every time, and this is something for you to confirm really, when teams are playing against BDS, once you're able to shut down Shaiko, you can find an easier entry into site. Do you agree with that? That's the first question.
I wouldn't say I don't think Shaiko matters that much in defense, to be honest, but you really notice it in BDS attacks. As soon as you get Shaiko, BDS starts to slow down, because they, even at the beginning, they start to have an aggressive entry with him, and then afterwards, as soon as you shut them down, they kind of freeze, they're slow, they don't know where to get the entry, they don't really follow up on that. But obviously, shutting down Shaiko is hard, but I guess shutting down Aces is even harder, so, well.
Yep. I mean, it, with a Nitro Cell, you can definitely shut down Aces.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I had to nerf him a tiny bit, like 20 is enough, don't really want to give him much more, he has an ego and all of that, so you don't really want to boost it that much.
I mean, if anything, everybody's just going to blame it on the USB stick. So I get it. It completely makes sense. One thing I have to focus on is you were listening to comms, seeing how things are in that final round. It turned into a 2v2, and Rips was trying to combo with Aces here, get the information, and then push into office. What was the mind game? Because obviously there you had the 2 decisions. Either you get on site and try to plant, or you go for the gunfight. How do you prepare with that, and how are the communication between the 2 players?
The last round was quite interesting, to say the least. We decided to go with a rush because we didn't see the Kaid at first. We saw that the Maestro is still below doing holds, and we saw that the hatch is still closed, the Teller's hatch. So we decided to go for a rush. In the middle of the rush, we get a frag, but we also lose Rice, I believe, and the diffuser because the Kaid has opened the hatch, and we somehow regain the man advantage. And in this 2v2 situation, we decided that, hey, Wama is alone on top. Like, we saw him, that he's alone. We didn't know that he's completely alone. We assumed that. But like, okay, he's alone on top. Let's play a 2 versus 1. And then in the last couple of 10 seconds, I believe, we figured out that the Kaid is also on top. And then we decided to just pick the Kaid as he's a easier kill in his position, and then focus together on the Wama and so win that round. Because you can't really plant below as long as they have a control above.
I mean, this was good play from you guys today. You prevented the Dark Horses from getting all 4 Ws on this playday. I'm sure you watched. I'm sure you watched the previous game between Vitality and Na'Vi, the TK that gave Na'Vi the momentum. But next time you have to play against Na'Vi, you expect to see yet another border, or what do you have planned against them? As much as you can say. I know Capet is watching this, probably waiting to pull his hair out.
I don't really want to get disowned from Capel, so I'm not really saying anything about the map pool. But I mean, if we have Navi against us, I'm gonna do a team kill again, but I don't think it's gonna give them the momentum they need. I doubt that.
All right. Of course, that's the last game of next Playday. That's only in a couple days on Wednesday. Anything you'd like to say to all the Rogue fans out there?
As usual, we're super happy to have all the Rogue fans and to receive that much support. Like, honestly, since we've changed the Rogue, we've received so much support, continuous support from fans all over the world. And especially during times like now where everyone has to stay at home, we're happy we can still deliver you guys a show and we can still entertain the people. And we're happy you're here, we're happy you're watching, and we're happy you support us.
All right, I guess that's pretty much it. So again, Lucas, thank you so much for the interview. Congratulations on your W.
Thank you.
That puts you even higher up on the standings. That's now you 2 Ws up above Team Empire. It's 6 points. Rogue are definitely gunning for #1 in this season. There's a lot of cash at the end of it as well. There might not be an event, unfortunately, but there's something to be won for sure.
You know, when you can't win the offline tournaments, you just try to take the online ones, and that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, and it seems like you're very good at doing that.
Thank you.
All right, Lucas, again, congrats. We'll see you in a couple days versus Navi. Until then, keep practicing your C4 team kills, and we'll see you then. Bis dann. Tschüss. Bye-bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.